Well, in this week's Weather 101, we are tackling snow, but not in the way that you think. So we've had a ton of rain this winter instead of snowfall, and it leaves so many people just asking, how much snow would it have been if it had been colder to not rain? So we're going to look at that, the conversion from rain to snow, and why it's not an easy answer. So part of this is we're going to do a little experiment. You see this bucket? It'll hold 10 inches of snowfall. We're going to let it melt to see how much water it becomes. Oh, this is going to be hard to fill. Well, it became obvious pretty quickly that the snow was a little too icy. Basically, it had thawed and melted a few too many times out there at Perfect North. But I let it melt anyways, just to get a result out of it. And you can see we had about 6 inches of liquid to those 10 inches of snow. But yeah, it just wasn't the best sample. So the general rule of thumb in the conversion is 1 inch of rain becomes 10 inches of snowfall. But it's just not that easy. Just because we got a soaking system doesn't mean it would have been 10 inches of snow, because warm air and cold air are very different. This really just comes down to the type of air mass that brings in that moisture. Whenever the air is warm, it's basically got a lot more wiggle room to it. And if you look at actually how it's built and the molecules, they're really far spaced out. There's a lot of room, and that allows more moisture to be picked up into that air mass and delivered here in the tri-state. Cold air though, so it doesn't have as much room or as much wiggle room as what warm air has. The particles inside of it are really densely packed, so you don't have that kind of room to shove the moisture into and to bring it in. So just because we can go from 1 inch of rain to 10 inches of snow doesn't mean it's the same air mass that's delivering that moisture. And a special shout out today to our friends at Perfect North Slopes for letting us borrow a little snow. I can't say I'm going to actually return it, but that is this week's Weather 101. I hope you learned something new.